Welcome back. Turning now to the latest in the administration's fight with Harvard and higher education. NBC News White House correspondent Vaughn Hillyard sat down with Education Secretary Linda McMahon for an exclusive interview today, where she defended the administration's tactics against elite universities like Harvard and Columbia. Take a look at part of the interview.
Have you seen progress at the universities? Have you seen progress at Columbia?
I have seen progress at Columbia.
Have you seen progress at Harvard?
And you know why? I think we're seeing progress because we are putting these measures in place, and we're saying we're putting teeth behind what we're looking at. And you have to sit down with us because...
And they are sitting down.
And they are, because we have stopped their federal funding.
And so is it necessary to cut off the foreign student program to the United States of America effectively for these universities in response?
Well, that caused a response. So I'm very happy that we're going to continue to scrutinize these students who are coming in, because first and foremost, we have to protect the students here in the United States, and we have to make sure that our students can go to universities and feel safe and get the education that they want and that they deserve.
Joining me now is NBC News' Vaughn Hillyard. Vaughn, congratulations on a fantastic exclusive interview with the Education Secretary. We saw there, you pressed her repeatedly. What were your other big takeaways?
The idea that these actions by the White House are ongoing. It's more than the $2 billion freeze, right? It's a proclamation just this week by the White House that they're seeking to threaten the accreditation of Columbia University. And if they lose their accreditation, they lose all of their federal funding. And Columbia University is the one that has essentially agreed to the list of demands presented by the Trump administration, and yet they're still going so far as to taking these steps. And that is where you heard her concede that both of these universities have made progress on fighting and combating anti-Semitism, yet they continue to go full steam ahead. And that is where the question is, what about the other 58 universities that they're now investigating for Title VI civil rights violations?
And Vaughn, could she point to any actual violations? Did she give you examples?
Well, this is the part. They've done all of this against Harvard University, threatened their tax-exempt status, despite the Department of Education nor the Department of Justice actually completing an investigation into civil rights violations. And so without those findings, Harvard University says, how are we supposed to respond accordingly when they haven't even presented the supposed violations that we've committed? Take a listen to this exchange. I think part of the issue is that there have been no Title VI violations that have been specifically found by the Department of Homeland Security or the Department of Justice, the Department of Education. They have not been given any specific findings and the opportunity to engage with the administration to try to correct those. And
so let me interrupt you there. How can you say there are no Title VI violations when there's been immense coverage of what went on at Columbia with students being barricaded into a library and pounded?
There's a process to that. Well, and the Department of Education hasn't provided Harvard with those findings.
Well, clearly we are fine. I think those findings are clear, and we will.
And I think that's why they filed the lawsuit.
Well, and then if the lawsuit is continuing, then we'll see what the courts decide on that. But I think we're going to prevail on that, because I don't think these universities can stand very tall and clear when students are saying we were afraid to go to campus, and there were students pounding outside of a glass and saying death to Israel, death to Jews. That's hate speech, and that's just wrong. These are clear Title VI violations.
And it's not just the idea of combating anti-Semitism. She gives numerous other reasons for why they're taking on Harvard, and that is because they contend that they continue to deploy DEI efforts. They have an endowment that should be taxed. And this is where, right, on one hand, Alan Garber of Harvard University says that we are making progress and rooting out anti-Semitism. At the same time, as Linda McMahon is acknowledging that, they have other reasons as to why they are continuing to target them nonetheless.
Well, what did she say about foreign students at Harvard, Vaughn? Because that's been such a big focus of the administration's attention.
Right. And that is where I specifically brought up the case of Mesa Ozturk, who was the Tufts University student, who the judge ordered her to be released after the supposed alleged violation that, as a Turkish national here on a foreign visa, that the administration brought against her was that she had wrote an op-ed speaking out against the Tufts University administration. And she acknowledged that there are going to be some arrests that shouldn't have taken place. But in the case of the Department of Homeland Security, Harvard, they gave them the names of 3 students that had allegedly engaged in misconduct. And yet, when I asked her, is there some great conspiracy here among foreign nationals that would lead to essentially cutting off the international students from studying at Harvard, let alone the 1.1 million across the rest of the country's universities. She said that the foremost attention for this administration is ensuring the security of American students, and they are going to take the necessary steps, even if that means cutting off access for foreign nationals.
Well, it's really a remarkable discussion, Vaughn Hillyard. Thank you so much for bringing it to us. Great, great job. We really appreciate it.